You know, a lot of people make millennial jokes. You know, nobody wants to work. You know, they job flip every year, every two. You know, they're just going to cry about it. You know, not all of us are like that. You know, as the youngest one in this group, not the best looking. I'll let y'all decide that. But you catch a lot of slack for it. Where they say, you know, people don't want to work anymore, and you know, it's not a generation thing. It's across the board. Mm-hmm. It's like everybody all of a sudden, you know, they raised their own standard, but they didn't do anything to better themselves. It's just something that almost, you know, not to go on the participation trophy route, but it's almost something like that. So when you talk about the different standards between business and the employee, you know, you have a standard as well too. You know, this employee licenses, contracts, appointments, everything. We have a set standard of, okay, this employee over a year's worth of time is going to cost the business X amount of money. Do we believe that they will be able to produce that money back so we can at least break even? Yes or no? You know, that's a whole lot of standards there for the employee side. But nowadays people, I don't say entitled, but they think they're entitled to, you know, well, if I raise my standard, you have to meet my standard. Well, if you don't actually raise yourself, if you don't become better, like I have a saying at the house that she absolutely hates, but it's like a joke saying, but she takes it serious. You just say, be better. She like burns chicken or something. I'm like, just be better. Just be better. But it's like a joke. But it's also, you know, when we talk about the standards here and kind of holding yourself, and we'll move through the whole scene, so through business standards, agent standards, leadership standards, all of that here, we'll kind of work through it all. But really, that's where I see a big disconnect right now when we talk about hiring market, talking about recruiting, is some of these candidates, they just have such a high standard of what they're looking for, but they're not holding themselves to that standard.
Mm-hmm. They're putting the blame on the company. But what I've seen, especially in new hirees or in new people coming on board, is there's a bit of sensationalism with them, where it's like, I could put in the work, I could do this, I could do that, but how is the company making me feel? Like, is this company making me feel good? Mm-hmm. What are you doing to make me feel happy at my job? And it's like, okay, we do want a good work culture. We do want to have people that we enjoy being around, but like you have to come halfway at least. You know, like you have to put in the effort. So if you're coming in late, or if you are complaining, like you just said, you're complaining about leads, or you're saying, oh, you know, the company's not making me feel like I'm being successful here. It's like, well, what have you done? You know? And I think where we get a lot of good, successful agents is that when the company comes back and says, well, what have you done? You guys can say, here's what I've done. You know, I've been working this company for 8+ years, but building book of business through and through. I started as an agent, and now I'm a mentor, and I'm bringing on and training these exceptional agents to go from good to great. So it's like that symbiotic relationship is important in this, but I think that when people are coming on board, the entitlement is somewhat there, but it's also the expectation of how are you, employer, going to make me feel when I come on board?
Absolutely. So if I can build on that, so his step is, you know, the recruiting, and then the second step of, I guess we can discuss standards in the capacity of like when I interview. You know, I have a certain standard for people, and it's a standard I don't ask for if I can't deliver on it myself. I don't hold the standard higher than what I feel like I could personally deliver on. And I'm assuming that they have a standard for me or us as an employer. And so not only do I speak to them so that I can figure out if they meet my standards, and just go back to that, I think our standards are high because we can make them high. We choose to make them high. We could choose to put the bar wherever we want, but we've chosen to put it pretty high. And I absolutely think it's accurate. It serves us well. But going back to the interview process and the bars that we stand, you know, where we place it for each other, not only am I trying to see if they meet my standards, or what I feel would be appropriate for our agency to succeed and to serve us well, I also want to just assume that they have a standard for themselves about if are we right for them, is this going to be a good fit for them, are we asking, what kind of level of work are we asking of them. So I'm very clear in what we have to offer, and let them know, hey, look, I feel like there's a core of us who have really been able to make this and kind of, I guess, mold this place into an environment that we want to come to every day. So that I feel that we have this environment that it's just going to be very supportive of a really positive environment and a selling environment, and the communication is great, so we set those bars really, really high. So really all you have to do is come in and make sure the bar is set high for yourself, and it'll be successful.